G'day and welcome back to the Great Mini Rebuild, Part 9. So in the last episode you would have seen us complete the major elements of the rebuild. We've now put the engine in and I think you saw that. She started up pretty well once I'd sorted out the plug leads. Finished all the wiring, put it all together and did a rough wheel alignment by eye, so I was ready to go down for a proper wheel alignment. Everything seemed to check out, so I organised the wheel alignment, rolled it out of the shed and we set off. But we only made it about 2 kilometres down the road and I think second, third, fourth time I put the brakes on, that was it. The brakes were on and they were not coming off. So we trucked the poor little girl back to the workshop and began having a good look, and took a little while to work out. We ended up replacing the brake booster, which wasn't actually a problem, and turned out to be the master cylinder was not letting the pressure come back. If you put your foot on it, it'd pressurise the front, and the brakes would work fine. But when you let your foot off the brake, the oil would not return back into the master cylinder. So I ended up just replacing the master cylinder, and all was good. So it was back down to the wheel aligner. So down, not too far from our place, about 10k down the road, there's a guy who specialises in minis, and he does wheel alignment front and rear the old school way, and did a really good job. Very pleased with that. It handles beautifully now, so it tracks really well, front and rear, all the cambers and tow and all the rest of it properly adjusted the way I like it, and it certainly handles a tree now. So with that done, all the mechanicals are now done. Just a few minor bits and pieces to finish. So we've put the spotlights on. We've now put in proper spotlight management system in the PDM to control that with a switch underneath the dashboard. A few other little bits and pieces to make living with it easy. A little beeper to remind us when we left the blinker on, because I found the light on the end of the stalk is just not clear enough. So we've designed and printed up these little 3D printed covers that go round where the inertia reel belt is in the rear companion bins that give it a much more finished look. They worked out pretty well. We also made some 3D tinted plexiglass sun visors because, well, just because. Here you can see a little switch block containing 3 switches that I made that holds the windscreen washer, the hazard light button and the spotlight on and off button. So I'm just doing a little bit of a walkthrough here for you, just pan around the car as it's done and have a look at all the little bits and pieces. You can see a few upgrades, things like that rear brake light in the rear window, overhead light that's now comes on and off with doors, so when the doors open the overhead light comes on. A few little modern conveniences. So on the passenger side you can see here we've also got a little USB charging socket underneath there, just convenient. Hopefully it's reasonably well hidden so it's not too obvious or in your face. So here on the boot you can see a little boot light that comes on when you open the boot, and you can see the battery isolator switch that's there. That is good when you park it. The front at the business end, they're all done. Here I've also got an LED light that comes on when you open the bonnet. We've got bonnet struts there that just make it so much nicer than putting a little prop. You can see the brake booster and the horn. The observant will notice that the brake booster is round the other way, which I actually find it gives you a lot more space around the clutch and things if you ever need to adjust it than perhaps the normal way. And then you can see my 2 nice spotlights there that sort of give you that classic look, even though they're not classic spotlights. So no Walkaround would be complete without a startup. So here's a startup. This is cold, so it takes a few seconds to start. On the dash, you can see that little red light next to the oil gauge. That's my low oil pressure warning light. That's a bit of a non-standard thing, but I like it. It's in your face. Sometimes you don't notice gauges, especially when this one, it's sort of half hidden behind your hand sometimes. Here I cycle the parking lights on, and you can see the back illumination of the three little switch blocks come on with back illumination. Then the middle one I'm pressing there, the green light, is for the spotlights, to tell you the spotlights are on. Well, they're on as long as your high beam is on. If you go off, and then the hazard light, which you can see the blinker then flashes as well. Here I'm testing the headlights. You can see these are steady LED headlight inserts, and they are brilliant. They really don't need the spotlights, but never mind. As you can see, I've wired the spotlights into the high beam, and when you cycle the high beam on and off with the foot dip switch, then the spotlights will go on and off if they're as they're supposed to. It's a legal requirement these days for spotlights. Anyway. So that's about it. The Great Mini rebuild is all but done. So I'd like to thank all the people that have been sort of following along and leaving comments. I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have enjoyed building it. I think looking forward to the next couple of days and get a nice sunny day. We'll take her out for a drive, and we'll have a driving video through the hills to sort of wrap it up. But from the point of view of the rebuild, she's a done deal. Thanks for watching. Bye.